Shakil sir, you can start.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Rupesh sir, can we start?
Yes, sure.
We will be starting our webinar today. A very good evening to all who are participating through Zoom as well as the Facebook Live platform. So yeah, we are here to much pleased to hear a webinar entitled on application of lean manufacturing tools in the dairy and food industries, organized by Department of Dairy Technology, PIT, Parul University, Vadodara. Today we have eminent speaker, Dr. Rupesh Datir, Assistant Professor, Department of Dairy Engineering from College of Dairy Technology, Udgir, Maharashtra. It is our privilege today you have to give the certain ideas regarding the lean manufacturing tools, because this topic is very important nowadays for dairy as well as the food industries. First of all, I will give that brief introduction of Dr. Rupesh Datir sir. Sir completed his Bachelor of Technology from the College of Dairy Technology in the year of 2010. After that, sir completed his Masters of Technology from the same college in the year 2013. After that, he had worked for the Almarai Dairy, Saudi Arabia. Especially his work in the department, definitely which is related to the lean manufacturing. After that, sir completed his PhD from that National Dairy Research Institute, SRS zone from the Bangalore. So I am sure, Rupesh sir, I am sure whatever the knowledge and the deliberation you are going to give through your presentations, it gives the new ideas to our students. So now I will hand over the session to Dr. Rupesh Datir sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Adil sir. A very good evening to all of you. So let's start this topic or presentations on application of lean manufacturing tools in dairy and the food industry. So why to discuss this lean manufacturing, or why we are going to study this lean manufacturing in today's topic? So we know that today there is a constantly increasing the global populations. The populations increasing 10%, 20% every year. We know that there is around 6 billions of population all over the world, and this population needs food to eat, to live, to survive. And we know that there is a huge demand of food and food products from this increased population, and it is speculated that the demand will increase by 60% by 2050. So on the one hand, population increasing, and other side the demand is also increasing. But simultaneously, the companies or the food manufacturing units are coming. The new players are coming in market day by day, and they are innovating their products in the market. So there is a tough competition or in every field of the food manufacturing business, whether it is a dairy, whether it is manufacture, whether it is food or bakery or any other kind of food business. So there is a very less margin. So for example, in our dairy industry too, there is a very less margin on processing. Likewise, in food too, there is a very less margin. So to earn the profit or to gain the profit, the manufacturer has to increase the volume of the product. So to gain the profit. So to manufacture a product, or the price of the product can be decided by its cost. Whatever cost incurred decide the price of the product. So there are different operational costs like material cost, labor cost, and overall cost. So every food manufacturer nowadays, if he wants to compete in the market, he has to cut down his cost so as to decrease its price and to keep its product price competitive. Otherwise, the customer will shift from one company to the another company. You cannot hamper your quality, but at the same time, you have to decrease your cost, decrease your product price so that customers will buy your product. So this reduction in food manufacturing operation cost will help streamline your process and increase your efficiency, and that's why this lean manufacturing comes into the picture. So how to maximize your profit, how to cut down your cost. So let's discuss. So what is lean manufacturing? We are talking about lean manufacturing. So what is the concept of lean manufacturing? So lean manufacturing is a production process based on ideology of maximizing productivity while simultaneously minimizing the waste within a manufacturing operation. What does it mean? It means you have to maximize your productivity. Productivity means you have to maximize your production, simultaneously minimizing the waste. Waste means anything which does not adds value. You have the limited resources, and from that resources you have to maximize your productivity. Suppose in a day you are manufacturing, now you are manufacturing suppose 1,000 liters of ghee or any butter, but you have, if you want to maximize your productivity with the same resources, then you have to shift your production from 1,000 kg per day to be 1,200 or 15,000 or 1,500 kg per day. That's your maximum your productivity. So how to maximize this? So the lean principle sees waste is anything that doesn't add value that the customers are willing to pay for. So what is waste and what is value, that we will discuss in further slides. So this lean manufacturing is also called as operational excellence. So this so we can define the lean manufacturing as a production process based on the ideology of maximizing productivity, simultaneously minimizing the cost within a manufacturing operation. So many companies that are using lean manufacturing principles, they are basically eliminating waste, optimizing the process, and also cutting the cost, reducing the time, and simultaneously they are innovating the new products or boosting the innovations to stay in a fast-paced, volatile, ever-changing global marketplace. So the companies who are not taking the full advantage of their resources, they are losing their efficiencies, and which leads into the production halt. So, so for many people, the phrase lean manufacturing is like removing the waste. Okay, so it can be interchangeably used, like eliminating or removing the waste. But the goal of practicing lean manufacturing isn't simply to eliminate the waste, but continuously delivering the value to the customer. So the lean principle sees waste as anything that doesn't add value that the customers will pay for. So the well-known companies that uses lean are like Almarai, where I works in the lean manufacturing department. They are using this lean manufacturing techniques or the operational excellence techniques for the production purpose or to cut down their costs. Likewise, Britannia, Nestle, this Toyota, Intel, Nike. So this lean manufacturing basically starts from the Toyota after the after the Second World War. This is called TPS or the Toyota Production System. So all the companies in the world, they are using lean manufacturing to cut down their costs. So there is a book like a widely referenced book called Lean Thinking by Banish Waste and Create Wealth in Your Corporation by James P. Daniel, which published in 1996, laid out 5 principles of lean. There are 5 principles like value, the value stream, flow, pool, and perfection. So let's see these 5 principles one by one. So what is the value? Value means value is anything that customers pays for. Customer pays for the value. So the companies were manufacturing the product. So any steps which are adding value to the product that customer pays for. The steps which are not adding any value to the product is simply a waste. So the manufacturer has to eliminate the waste and the other costs which are not adding the value to the product, so as to meet the optimal price or to as to give the price a less price to the product so that customers can buy those products, and by which ultimately maximizing the profit of the company. The first principle is the value. So the next principle is the map the value streams. So in this, we analyze the materials and other resources required to produce a product or services. So with that aim of identifying the waste and improvements, there is a product life cycles which converting raw materials to the disposal. So it incurs different departments like development, introductions, growth, maturity, decline, etc. So in this case, that anything that does not add value must be limited. So in this case, we map the stream. Suppose we want to manufacture a cheese, so we have some flow diagrams. So at every steps, there is some inputs and some outputs we get. So we define the different uh, inputs at each step and finding out which steps are adding the values or which sectors are adding the values and which are not. Okay. That is the value mapping the value stream. So third principle is create a flow. So in the creative flow, there are some barriers or there are functional element barriers identifies to best improve the lead time. So this principle ensures that process flows smoothly and can be undertaken with a minimum delay or a otherwise. So lean manufacturing relies on preventing interruptions in the production process in which activities operate in a constant stream. So next principle is the establish a pull system. So there are two types of system. One is the pull system and other one is the push system. So in traditional manufacturing, we use push system. In that push system, we first procure inventory or procure the raw material, and then we make a plan or forecast a plan, and accordingly we manufacture the product. But in case of pull system, lean manufacturing is a pull system instead of push system. So in the push system, we first forecast or we first take the orders, then accordingly we procure the inventory, and we as soon as we get the order, we manufacture the product. Okay. So what will happens by using pull systems? By using pull system, we minimize our inventory or minimize our storage. Okay, we minimize our raw material handling, etc. So this can lead to additional warehousing. So this pull system, additional warehousing costs, it reduces disrupted schedules or poor customer satisfaction. Then next is the fifth principle is the perfection. So every company is continues striving for the perfections. Okay. So this perfection, this perfection is a continuous process. It's not a one-day process. You have to improve your process gradually, step by step. So it is a continuous process improvement. So this concept was coined by the Ichiro Toyoda, which is called as the Kaizen. So it involves targeting the root cause of quality issues, ferreting out and eliminating the waste across the value stream. So you find out the root cause of any within any step or within any process flow. So basically, there are 6 ways to reduce cost in food manufacturing. We are talking about manufacturing, we are talking about the competition, we are talking about the cutting down the cost. So there are 6 major ways by which we can cut down the cost. So first one is the precision measurement, reducing ingredients, okay. Then reducing products defects through system design, preventive maintenance instead of equipment replacement. So short duty maintenance is always welcome instead of replacing the whole equipment. Then lower cost and save time with bulk ingredients. Then reducing liability and fines through designs, remove downtimes with machine synchronization. So there are different ways by which we can cut down our cost. So this, if we seek the traditional culture and lean culture, we can see the basic difference between traditional and the lean culture. These are the different points. Okay, so in traditional culture, we are concentrated on functional side roles. By in lean culture, there are interdisciplinary teams which focus on the issues, discuss their issues. So these traditional cultures are there are manager direct, there are manager twist enabled. So from this table, we can see the basic difference between the traditional culture and the lean culture. There are basically 5 major obstacles to implement lean with a small business, which includes Insufficient management time to support lean. So management doesn't provide a sufficient time, or they don't pay attention to the problems which are incurring in the business. They're not understanding the potential benefits of applying the lean. Then underestimating the employee attitude, resistance to the change. Then insufficient workforce skills to implement lean means there is not sufficient manpower or skilled manpower which can implement these lean tools or lean technologies. Then backsliding the old inefficient ways of working. If you are not changing yourself, you are not upgrading your knowledge, so one day you will be lack your other competitors and your profit will go down. So to implement a lean, we must gain a top management buy-in and support, then perform overall company assessment, then develop a strategic lean deployment plan. We have to integrate customized training with the lean to improve specific skill sets. We have to do trainings, programs to conduct different programs, some advanced training so that the operators or the shop floor managers, they get acquainted with the latest technologies. So what are the advantages of implementing lean manufacturing in your organizations? First one is save time and money. So by implementing lean manufacturing, there will be a more efficient workforce, better resource allocations, and improved production. This can benefit business regardless of size or output. Time saving allows then reduced lead times. Then we can provide better services to our customers, which ultimately saves the money. Next factor is the environmental friendly. So removing unnecessary processes can save cost, energy, and failure. If we are optimizing our resources, like we are optimizing our energy consumption, we are optimizing our fuel consumption. So ultimately, it will save the money in the business. Okay. Then improve customer satisfactions. We are improving the delivery. We are improving the quality of the product. Okay. We are decreasing the price. So this will ultimately lead to the consumer satisfaction. What are the disadvantages? So first one is the employee safety. So by focusing on removing waste and streamlining procedures, we are somehow burdenize our employee to work continuously or they're always in under pressures, maybe some performance issue or other. The employee their health may hampers while applying this lean manufacturing. Sometimes there will be a labor cost while applying this lean manufacturing technique. So always the employee feels in a burden. Okay. So first one is the employee safety. Next is the stop future development. So we always focus on cutting down the cost, but this will leads to the any other innovative things. We stop the future development. So this issue should be addressed while implementing the lean manufacturing. There are different lean manufacturing tools. There are like as we can see in this figure, there are different lean manufacturing things like TPM, GIT, 5S, VSM, Pokayo, Jidoka, KPI, single unit exchange of die, Kaizen. These are the different lean manufacturing tools. So let's see one by one what are the different lean manufacturing tools which are applicable to the dairy or the food industry. So first, what is the value? Value is a capability provided to a customer at the right time at an appropriate price. Okay. And waste means any activity that consumes resources but creates no value. That is called the waste. There are different kinds of waste. Basically, there are several types of waste. So let's see first tool number one, that is 5S. So in the 5S, there are 5 elements. First one is sort. Sort means eliminate which is not needed. Okay. Eliminate those things which are not needed to manufacture or to produce any kind of product or an item. Okay. Then stratum, organize remaining items. shine, clean and inspect work area. You have to keep your work area clean and clear. Then standardize, write standards for the above. Then sustain, regularly apply the standards. Okay. So why to implement 5 years? So in this picture, we can see that there is a cluttering of different items. Items are cluttered everywhere. So these are uncontrollable and we cannot manage these things. So we have to apply these 5 years to optimize your work area. So there are 7 types of waste as I have discussed. First one is the transportation waste, inventory waste, motion waste, waiting waste, overproduction, overprocessing, and defects. Waste in transportation waste means the waste which happens during transportation. Transportation like raw material transportation, finished good transportation. Then inventory waste means we are procuring the raw materials in our storage. This inventory keep lying for months until use. Okay, this is a capital expenditure which we incur for production. Okay, so this inventory causes some waste. Then waste, motion waste. Motion waste means we are within a factory. We are ordering some raw material from storage to the actual production area. If there is a motion, there is a motion, so it is time consuming. If it is time consuming, then it is causing the motion. Okay, then it is a waiting for any forklift or waiting for any equipment to idle. Okay, that is called waiting waste. Then overproduction, producing the products or items than the required. Okay. Then overprocessing. Overprocessing means suppose pasteurization temperature is 72 degrees centigrade for 15 seconds. Okay, but in actual you are pasteurizing milk for 78-80 degrees centigrade for 15 seconds. It means your legal standard is 72 degrees centigrade for 15 seconds, but you are heating that milk for up to the 80 degrees centigrade. Means you are over processing the milk by 8 degrees centigrade, or sometimes we see that we have FDV in our pasteurizations, and sometimes if milk is not get pasteurized properly, it has to be diverted to the balance tank. So again, you have to process the milk for a certain time and temperature combination. So we are over processing. Okay, so that is the kind of waste. We are wasting our energy to reprocess the product. Then next is the defects. Defects means bad quality product or any kind of rework. It's called as waste products. The products which does not meet any kind of meet a quality that can be called as a defects. Okay, so these are the different waste in a industry. So if we apply, so this is the before picture. If we apply the 5 years, we can see that after 5 years, there are clear and shiny eyes, color coded areas, slogans and banners, no working process. So this 5 years provide a clean environment to work for. Okay. So this shadow board, provides us a tool to find out which. Suppose there is a maintenance department, and maintenance department, there are different wrenches, spanners like that. Okay, so if some operator find that this spanner is not on the board, he immediately go and find out the missing element or missing tool. Okay, this is the kind of lean manufacturing techniques which helps us to save the times. Okay, it saves the times to find out any kind of tools or the equipment that needed for the maintenance purpose. And next tool is the visual factory implementation. So this visual factory means you are to just visually observe the things in your shop floor or in your factory. Okay. So by this, we can visually inspect the things which are if they are not on the place or not. So after lean manufacturing implications, so before and after, you can clearly see the difference before and after. So next will be the Kaizen. So in Kaizen, what is Kaizen? So it's a strategy where employees work together proactively to achieve regular incremental improvements in the manufacturing process. You might have heard this Kaizen in your 6 or 7 semester in quality assurance subject. So how does this Kaizen help? This combines the collective talents of the company to create an engine for continually eliminating waste from manufacturing process. So in Kaizen, the work employees give suggestions to the managers, okay, and these small suggestions will help the organizations work better. So there are different types of Kaizens as shown in the figure. So next is the brainstorming exercise. So in the Kaizen, brainstorming means some people or a group of people come together to discuss a issue, and each individual have to give some suggestions on that issue. So in this way, we come out with different kind of suggestions. That is called the brainstorming. So in this Kaizen team brainstorming to develop a new process, so it's important. Post improvement ideas on map or by category, then develop detailed future state map. So tool number 3 is the value stream mapping. So what are the value streams? A value stream is the set of all actions required to bring a specific product or service from a raw material to the customer. So it is a tool which usually map the flow of production, which shows the current and future state of the process in a way that the highlights opportunities for improvement. So how does it works or how does it helps? It exposes the waste in the current process and provides a roadmap for improvement in the future state. So your flow diagram of your product right from start to the finish. Okay. So at each step, what are the different inputs and outputs that we determine, and based upon that, we find out the loopholes in the system or the different waste that are happening while processing a product. So these are the key steps in value stream mappings, like process identification, objective and scopes, map the current state, waste identification, map the future state, and action plan and implementation. The next is the quick changeover, which is called as single minute exchange of dies. So if you recall, or if you saw this picture, you know this is the Formula One. So in Formula One racing, you know that after certain period of running of this that car, a bunch of people come together and they replace the tires and other things in a very short span of time, maybe 30 seconds or 20 seconds. Okay, this is called the single minute exchange of die or the product changeover or a quick changeover. Okay, the same can be applied in our food industry or in a dairy industry too. We have certain SKUs like stock keeping units. We have single machine which can produce 500 ml packet, which produce 1000 ml packet. So this changeover from 500 ml to 1000 ml takes certain times. So if we reduce these times, we can save the time and we can increase our on product time. What is changeover? So changeover is the total process of converting a machine or line from running one product to the another. Okay, so it is the total elapsed time between the last unit of good production of the previous run. So in traditional way, we setup is given and fixed. Therefore, it requires highly skilled setup personnel that minimize variety. It combine lots and make large batches. Okay. What are the different benefits of setup production? It gives better quality. It lowers the cost. It provides better flexibility and better work utilizations. Also, shorter lead time and more capacity. Then tool number 5 is the bottleneck analysis. So what is bottleneck analysis? It identifies which part of the manufacturing process limits the overall throughput and improve the performance of the part of the process. That is called the bottleneck analysis. So how does it help? It improves the throughput by strengthening the weakest link in the manufacturing process. Suppose there is a some weak link or some steps which hampering the overall process. We have to find out by studying the overall process, and we remove that bottleneck from the manufacturing process. Tool number 6 is the continuous flow. So what is continuous flow? So which is the manufacturing where working process smoothly goes to production with a minimal buffers between steps of the manufacturing process. The process should be continuous. Okay. So there should be a less stoppages, less breakdowns, etc. So how does it help? It eliminates many forms of waste like inventory, waiting time, and transport. So tool number 7 is the Gemba. So Gemba means the real place where actually production is taking place, which is called as the shop floor, where the equipment lies, where the operator works, where the shift managers works. Okay. So it is a philosophy that reminds us to get out of our offices and spend time on the plant floor. So the top management or the top managers which are sitting in the AC cabins, they have to come on a shop floor and see the what actually is going on the shop floor. Okay. How the process is being carried out. Okay. So how does this Gemba help? It promotes a deep and thorough understanding of real-world manufacturing issues by first-hand observation and by talking with the plant floor employees. The employees which are working on the shop floor, they are the best judge. They know the machines very well. They know the process very well, and they can tell you betterly what actually hindering or hampering the production. Okay, so top management have to come down to discuss with the employees at the shop floor. The tool number is Izumka, which is called as level signaling. So this is a form of production scheduling that purposely manufactures in much smaller batches by sequencing product variants with the same process. So how does it help? It reduces the lead times and inventory. Then Kaizen or the continuous improvement. Okay. So I have discussed already this continuous improvement. So tool number 10 is the overall equipment effectiveness, which is called as OE. So we know that in our bearing industry or industry, we have UST lines, we have packaging lines which continuously packs the milk or packs the Tetra packs continuously. So this each machine has its nameplate speed like 1,000 pieces per hour, 10,000 pieces per hour. Okay. So this OE tells us the efficiency of the equipment. Okay. If machine is running with its named speed, it means it has 100% efficiency. If it is not, then the efficiency may go down. Okay. So every manufacturer tries to run their equipment with the named speed, but it never happens. Your machines will always operate below your nameplate speed. Okay. So what is OE? So it is a framework for measuring productivity loss for a given manufacturing process. So there are three categories of loss. Okay. First one is the availability, is called as downtime. Performance examples, low cycles, and quality. So availability, quality, and performance constitute the overall equipment effectiveness. So this provides a benchmark or baseline to track progress in eliminating waste from a manufacturing process. So 100% OE means perfect production. There is no waste generation. Okay. If there is a waste generation, it means the machine or equipment is not running 100% efficiently. So why change to OE? So to identify process waste and to establish a method of optimizing machine performance. So in the OE, we have to measure, because if we don't measure, we can't improve. So if we want to improve something, we have to measure it first, and after measuring, we came to know that something is wrong there in our process. After that, we can improve the things. So in OE, we measure three things like on product time, rate, quality. It provides a quick gauge of line performance. It focuses on activities which bring the greatest improvement in line performance, and it gives the clear indication of the line capability. What we can do to increase the efficiency of a line. So in a line, suppose there is a filler, there is a packaging unit, there is a barcode reader, there is a buffer table. Okay, then there is a final shrink wrap, then there is also final packaging, etc. Okay, palleting. So it is all included in a line. So how to increase the efficiency of a line? So OE can be calculated from on product time into rate into quality. Okay. So OPT means on product time means time on product divided by 24 hours. In 24 hours, how much production is being carried out. Okay. But during this, there is some stoppages, maybe short stoppages or breakdowns or like CIPs. Okay, then utility maintenance. So production time minus this time is called as the on-product time. Okay. So all downtimes can be considered as a wasted opportunity to make a product. If your downtime is less or production time will be more. So rate means how much machine is performing against the best outer speed. Okay. So rate is equal to total pieces divided by time on product divided by the nameplate speed. This will give us the rate. This is the formula for calculating the rate. In quality, it is the amount of good product made. Only good product, not the bad product made. Okay. So quality is equal to good product means upon total produce. So OE is on product time multiplied by rate multiplied by quality. Okay. So this will give us the OE. There are three OE losses. One of the major goals of OE progress is to reduce or eliminate the creation of OE losses. The major losses are the performance losses. If we monitor the performance losses, we can improve our OE. There are different categories and the reasons for the OE losses. So these are from this losses can be found on the shop floor or the on the lines, like OE losses, like OPT losses. There are reasons like breakdowns. There may be like unplanned maintenance, general breakdowns, equipment failure. Okay. Then changeover setup and adjustments. There are setup changeover, material shortages, cleaning, operator shortages, major adjustment, warm-up type, etc. Okay. In case of OE rate loss, there are small stop, reduced speed. Okay, there are the different examples and comments of the OE losses. Likewise, quality, startup rejects or production rejects. In startup rejects like scrap, rework generation, in process damage, incorrect assembly. Okay. In production rejects, scrap, rework, in process damage, incorrect assembly. So in our dairy industry also, we find the moisture, we find the tears, we find the acidity, and if this doesn't meet with those standards, we have to reject the whole batch. Okay, this is the waste or the OE loss. So in OE, we have to record the data. So any stoppage must be recorded. Anything which stops the production should be recorded. So this is the example of log sheet of OE. So from this, we can jot down or write down the different stop and start and duration of the breakdowns. These are the different reasons codes for the OE. So this log sheet provides the record line performance, this is the log of performance, daily and weekly reports compiled and shows performance of each department. So in this way, this can be visualized from the graphs. This kind of reports generated for the OE. So which chart indicates the more favorable results? So this chart shows the most favorable results. Okay. Because there is an upward trend can be seen in this report. Okay. So the world class OE is 85%. OPT is 90%, rate should be 95%, quality should be 99.9%. So if these three things, if you get these three things, OPT, rate and quality, we will get the 85% world class OE. But generally, in a company, in our dairy or food, we get around 40 to 50% OE because we have to clean the equipment, there are CIPs, there are breakdowns of the plant maintenance, etc. The next will be root cause analysis. So what is root cause analysis? It is a problem solving methodology that focuses on resolving the underlying problem instead of applying the quick fixes. Okay. So we have to find out the root cause, not the superficial cause. What actually hampering the production? So we have to eliminate that issues or the factors to streamline our processes. So it helps to ensure that the problem is truly eliminated by applying corrective actions or the root cause of the problem. There are 6 big losses in the daily auto industry, like breakdowns, setup, and adjustments. So to start any machine, we have to do certain setups or adjustments according to the product. Then there are some small stops. So there are stacking of product in the line. There are some jams. Okay. Then reduce speed, startup rejects, production rejects. There are the big losses in a manufacturing industry. Then tool number 13, Six Sigma. So it is a quality tools, but it is lean manufacturing also take the help of Six Sigma. So it is a set of strategies, techniques, and tools for process improvement. So it is a it improves the quality of the process output by identifying and removing the faults and defects. So it is the quality management methods. There are different Six Sigma tools like 5S, axiomatic designs, business process, fishbone, control chart, correlations, Pareto chart, fit chart. So some of these tools we use in a lean manufacturing. The Sigma can be applied in the dairy and food industry. So it helps in decreasing the defects. Also, it helps in industry by just try to implement such approaches to deal with a number of problems. Now, let's take the applications of lean manufacturing in our dairy and food industry. We have discussed the different techniques and methods of lean manufacturing, how they work, what are their advantages, disadvantages. What are the different areas of application in dairy and industry? So, in the production areas, okay. In our dairy of industry, we are manufacturing some, like we are manufacturing a flavored milk or we are pouching the milk. Okay. We have to, or we are manufacturing the cheese blocks. So this can be applied to reduce the changeover. Changeover means shifting from small SKU to the big SKU, like from 500 ml to 1000 ml, from 200 ml to 500 ml, or from 500 ml to 2000 ml pouching. So the time needed to set the machines. Okay. So how to reduce that time or changeover, that can be solved by the lean manufacturing. Okay. The next is CIP time. We know that after every batch we have to CIP our pasteurizer or our equipments. Okay. So this CIP involves different steps like rinsing, acid rinsing, alkali rinsing, and final rinsing. Okay. So each step requires 10-15 minutes to complete. So by gathering a group of employees or individuals from a company, and if we brainstorm, we can reduce the CIP time. Suppose acid steps requiring 10 minutes. Okay. Why not to increase by 10? Why not 8 minutes? If we increase the 2 minutes also in each step, we can save the 10 minutes. So you will get 10 minutes more for your production. So in this way, we can minimize the time in our process of batch. Okay, in your organization, we can minimize this time, and this time can be utilized for production. So this is the application of lean manufacturing in the production area. So it can be applied in variety of the departments. In processing area, like reduction in batch hours, wide reprocessing, said examples of reprocessing, like in it's in pasteurization, if FTV, if that unpasteurized milk diverted again in the balance tank, we have to reprocess the milk again. Okay, so by installing the correct steam flow or water flow, or by analyzing or monitoring the pasteurization temperature, we can avoid the reprocessing of the milk. Okay, so lean manufacturing helps to reduce the reprocessing or reduction in the batches. Okay, then packaging and labeling area. So in packaging, how to reduce the packaging cost, how to reduce the packaging material by brainstorming, by forming the multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary or interdepartmental team, which includes quality guy, which includes maintenance guy, which includes production guy, which includes HR, something on HR. This multi-department team can brainstorm, can monitor, and find out the issue which actually hampering or which actually producing the waste or which actually incurring the cost while producing a product. So this packaging material we can reduce the size of packaging material, we can reduce the packaging material itself. Okay, we can save the barcodings. There are many opportunities in packaging and labeling areas by which we can save or cut down our cost. In storage inventory, uh, if we reduce our inventory, ultimately we are reducing our capital expenditure. Okay, because this inventory will sit idle or will lay idle until it is used. So this inventory incurred a huge capital cost. Storage also, in case of storage, if we are manufacturing the product and we are storing that product for a long period of time, and if it is not dispatching well before time, so this storage means our capital expenditure. We have invested some capital in that product, and that product is not getting dispatched or marketed in the product. So ultimately, it costs us. So lean manufacturing helps us to manage the storage and inventory so as to cutting down our cost. Same applies in the logistics. Logistics means carrying the finished goods or carrying the raw materials to the factory. So finding out the best routes. We have to drop our finished products to different locations. So selecting the best routes by which we can optimize our logistic operations, we optimize our fuel consumptions, will eventually gives the better profit to the manufacturer or the industry. Then cleanliness and hygiene of equipment. So in CIP, we use chemicals, we use alkali, we use nitric acid, we use other chemicals too. So instead of using high concentrated chemicals, let's decrease the concentration of chemicals by which we can save at least some bucks. Okay. We have to form more multidisciplinarity. Then there is the quality check. After finalizing the quality check, we can do the chemical use. So these things we have to monitor continuously without hampering your quality. Your quality should not be hampered. Otherwise, you will lose your customers. Then maintenance. In maintenance, there are preventive maintenance. So if you are maintaining your equipments on daily basis or keeping the equipment in a fit positions, so chances are there will be a less downtime while machine will run. It same applies with your car. If you don't service your car regularly, one day it will stuck at somewhere and you have to incur the big cost. Okay. Same applies in industry too, in equipment too. If you don't maintain your equipment properly, ultimately it will leads to a breakdown which hampers your production. So you have to maintain your equipment. You have to maintain, make plans for each equipment so that your machines will run smoothly. Then equipment design. So the word ergonomic means a human comfort. Operators operate or works on machines, so the operator should feel comfort while working on equipment. If our equipments are not ergonomically designed, it means it will create stress in the operator. He will feel tired while working on equipment. So let's give him a proper positions or seats to work on that. If we have to bend his hand or if we have to bend his neck, and if the things are not his eye level, what will happen? He will tired in a 4 hour, 2 hours instead of working 8 hours. Okay, so design should be ergonomically so that the worker or the operator should feel comfortable. It will increase the efficiency of the working. Okay. The environment should be, uh, if we works in a hot condition, okay, we'll feel tired early, okay. But if we works in a AC rooms, our efficiency will increase. So same applies in the shop floor also. This will increase the efficiency of the worker. So the equipment should be ergonomically designed, ultimately increase the efficiency of work, and it increase the efficiency of equipment ultimately leads to the maximizing the profit of the business. Then research and development. So develop the product or research the products which new includes new ingredients, new processes. Okay. Previously, there are batch processes. Then latest that comes in the picture. So we shifted from batch process to the ready to this development. हाँ सर ठीक है हो गया बस लास्ट है ये स्लाइड लास्ट है okay. So this is the R&D lean manufacturing R&D. Okay, so it ultimately saves you the cost. And last is the utility section. So checking the air leaks, checking the reparation temperature, uh, applying the lean techniques in different areas of utility like electricity, in air compressor, refrigerations, boiler, ultimately cut down your cost. These are the different areas of application in the food industry. So concluding, so lean manufacturing is all about making continuous improvements in your business to drive up performance and drive down cost. Setting targets is a big part of the techniques that encourages people to come up with the no cost and low cost solution to your issues. Then a correctly installed system of lean manufacturing can help you improve faster than your competitors. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for such an informative session.
Thank you very much.
Yes, dear students, if you have any queries, you can post on that Facebook live link. Thank you, sir, for lightening whatever the recent trends of this lean manufacturing. You just enlightened our students related to the lean manufacturing tools in dairy and food industries. Definitely, this will helpful to our students whenever they are work in the dairy or whatever food industries.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for inviting me for this topic. Thank you very much.
So proceeding to the vote of thanks, first of all, definitely I'm going to thankful to the Parul University management as well as Dr. Rupesh Datir, which gives the very informative as well as that recent data, which helpful to our students. In addition to that, I'm also thankful to our head of department, Dr. Vijay Kede sir, to organize such webinar. Also, I am thankful to all the staffs from dairy as well as the food technology department. And one of the important, finally, I am also thankful to all the students which gives their time as well as they take certain ideas related to the specific subjects. Uh, if there are no queries from the students, I will conclude this session. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Manoj. Thank you.
So thank you.